Welcome back to The Square. I'm your host, Curtis the Fifth.
I'm Curtis the Fourth.
All right, we are back for another NBA Finals update. Yeah, it's Monday the 19th, so the day before Game 6, where I was confident last time we were on the show. Man, I did not expect Phoenix to be facing elimination right now, but they are. So we will discuss Games 4 and 5. We will go back and discuss all of that. We're going to get into what we expect down the road as well. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. But quickly before that, always remember, like, rate, and subscribe to the show. We want to continue to grow here, so sharing is always appreciated as well. All right, let's talk NBA Finals basketball. Phoenix versus Milwaukee. Game 6 is tomorrow. Let's go back in time to, what was that, Wednesday? Thursday? Game 4.
Game 4.
Phoenix drops the ball in Game 4 in Milwaukee. They lose by 6, 109 to 103.
It's
Tuesday. Okay, I was all the way messed up. Yeah, they lose 109 to 103. Very close game. Very well played by both sides for the most part. And we'll get into the reasons why Phoenix lost this game. But let's start with the Milwaukee side of things. Giannis is that dude. You said it.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he came out there 26, 14, and 8 in Game 4. He had an additional 3 steals. Obviously, Chris Middleton's 40 points helped out as well. And then Pat Connaughton off the bench with another 9 rebounds. He had so close to a double-double. He was 11 points and 9 rebounds and an assist. But, man, I mean, Giannis is fantastic all around. Chris Middleton shows up with the scoring, and the others just did what they could.
I mean, and Drew Holiday, I mean, not really, I'm not a big Drew Holiday fan. He's okay. I'm not against him, just not really my flavor. But 13 and 7 and 7. I mean, that's very respectable
with 3 steals.
I'm guessing he's the point guard. I know he's just a guard because I just don't know what position he plays. But
I believe he's running the point when Giannis isn't bringing the ball up. But
yeah, for whatever that's supposed to mean.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
the only issue I had with their stat line coming out of this Game 4 was the fact that Drew Holiday only scored 13, and also PJ Tucker starting. How the hell do you not score? You're a starter.
He only attempted one shot.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, maybe it could be in a conversation where he's just dedicating himself to the defensive end at this point. And I've seen that in the past, and maybe I'm not going to do the big network spin and like, man, his confidence is shot, and that therefore he has to go and find other things to do.
Well, he came back in game. Oh, no, not PJ Tucker. Never mind.
Yeah, PJ Tucker. So, no, I think it's very simple. He just, look, he know he doesn't have it, and it's like, I mean, where I can transition this to, but I think that's smart. Where he's gonna focus and channel all his energy to the defensive end. It puts a liability on the Bucks to some degree, but the Bucks have been able to sustain that type of hit to their offense or their offensive balance or flow, with him not really committing himself to shooting. I don't think this is not a Ben Simmons situation, but it's 0 for 1. I mean, he's gonna. We already know who PJ Tucker is. He's gonna do it on other ends. We've seen other games where he's had some really bad shooting nights. So,
but I have an issue with you saying he's doing it on the other end because he had 5 rebounds and an assist. Like that's it.
I'm talking about the intangible stat, not his defensive presence or prowess. Trying to slow the other team down, doing whatever he can against Booker. But I mean, someone has to stick him. I'm not saying he's gonna stop him, but with that being said, I'm saying that to say this: who would stop him on the Bucks? So, okay, line them all up. Who's next? I'm like,
at least try to hold him to 30, giving him 42 a night.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's PJ Tucker. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, damn. I mean, he did. That's as good as it's gonna get, I mean,
it was fine. I mean, they came out with a win, 109 to 103. So he did what he needed to do.
But I'm saying it could be a lot worse. Like Mr. Crowder on the other end.
I mean, well, let's talk Phoenix in Game 4. Yeah, I have an issue with Jay Crowder. I mean, this game, you had you had 8 rebounds and 15 points. So you were scoring. You were bringing it on the offensive end, still lacking on the defensive end. But
Keep going. I'll let you finish your thought because there's a very dark cloud over this stat line you going.
Oh no, there is, and I get that, but just taking the stats for what they are, what you did in this game, statistically, 15, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. You were kind of stat stuffing because he also had 3 steals and 3 blocks in the game as well. He was all around. I did not really have too much of an issue with his play in Game 4. Doing Game 5, and we'll get into that in a minute, and the reasons why Phoenix lost Game 5, but the reasons why Phoenix lost Game 4. Because I've told you this, and I think I've said it on the podcast a couple of times. I think the key to Phoenix winning games is Chris Paul and Devin Booker doing their thing on the offensive end, and DeAndre Ayton and Jay Crowder combining for 20-plus rebounds a game. You get 20 second-chance opportunities in the NBA, or taking away a second-chance opportunity on the defensive end, getting defensive rebounds. That is key to how Phoenix wins this game. Wins games, period. Those two guys need to combine for 20 rebounds. In this Game 4, they did, but the reason why they lost is because on the offensive end, Chris Paul, how do you have 5 turnovers in this game? This is the NBA Finals, man, and you are this game specifically wasn't do or die, obviously, and I know he has an injury that he's trying to play off like it's not an injury and doesn't really want to talk about it with his hand, but at the end of the day, if you're that beat up where you can't hold on to the ball and you're turning the ball over 5 times, get off the floor.
Right.
You're hurting your team more than you're helping because you only had 10 points. So you weren't effective on the offensive end. You had 4 assists as the quote, like you are the point guard of this team. 4 assists and 10 points is not enough on the offensive end. 5 turnovers absolutely killed them in this game. That's the reason. If you want to chop it up to anything, that is the reason why they lost. And it didn't help that the bench combined it for only 23, 5, and 1 in this game as well. So the lack of bench production also didn't reprieve the 5 turnovers that Chris Paul was attributed to. Plus, there was actually even more because there was turnovers attributed to other guys that were actually Chris Paul's fault.
Agreed. Now, can we
let you get into Jay Crowder?
With the Jay Crowder effect that you have eloquently glossed over.
I'll get into it in Game 5 because I think that was actually the reason why they lost Game 5. But
which is wonderful. But I'm going to explain in addition to why they lost Game 4.
Mm-hmm.
And make no mistake, it's because of this great stat line you just went across and this fugazi stat line that we are looking at. And it's very deceptive, and that's why I'm going there with this. But Jay Crowder was a big contributor to why they did not win this game 4 in totality. Yes, Chris Paul had his big everything you said about that I agree with. And I have no dispute. Chris Paul did not show up. Chris Paul is allowed to have a bad game. Unfortunately, a bad game in this situation helped cost them the game. Now, in the Jay Crowder thing, 15 points. 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks. Man, like stat stuffing, but also, I mean, it's fluffed. These numbers are not as attractive or as potent as you think they are. When I look at in nearly 40 minutes played, he shot 3 for 10.
Yeah.
No. I was like, okay, 3 for 10. Got that. Damn, 30 points. He shot 30% from the field. However, he still found a way to get 15 points. Efficient, theoretically. The problem is, I'm not looking at his 3-pointers.
3 for 9.
Wait a minute. You supposed to be an enforcer in a low post defensive presence, and you mean to tell me out of your 10 attempts, 9 of them was at the 3-point line? When did you become a power guard?
He did, and I get that, and he's not that, and I agree with you.
I'm just saying that when down the stretch, when a CP3 can't, come up with the basket, or he's stumbling over himself. I don't need him stumbling right past in the screenshot. There's Jay Crowder standing at the 3-point line with his hands out, looking like, shouldn't you be down low?
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with that.
It's amazing that he even got these numbers from this game. But then you can see where the inefficiencies of. It's very easy to say, well, Chris Paul had 5 turnovers. That's why they lost. Okay, well,
Chris Paul never has that many turnovers.
I got it. He has 5 turnovers. Devin Booker had 4 turnovers. Jay Crowder had 3 turnovers, and DeAndre Ayton had 2 turnovers. Cameron Johnson had 2 turnovers. I'm like, I understand.
No, and I get what you're saying there too, because everybody was turning the ball over. It was sloppy play across the board. But the reason why I attribute this specifically Game 4 loss to Chris Paul is specifically because at the end of the day, Chris Paul typically does not ever have more than 1 turnover a game. Usually he is a savant and he has 0 turnovers a game. Well, and throughout this entire playoff run, he hadn't had any games over 2 turnovers.
That's fine. But I'm going to say this, and I never expected him to have to play near perfection for them to have to win games either. Sorry. So 5 turnovers. Okay, I get it. But, for somebody to have 5 turnovers for the first time in probably, empty amount of years, okay, every superstar player has had these moments.
No, and it's a team loss for sure. But
right.
I'm saying specifically, if you're looking at
easy target just to stay there and just stay there alone. I say, yeah, to a degree. However,
yes, Jay Crowder, you need to stop shooting threes. Like,
I'm saying the Jay Crowder thing because this is my thing because because of where this league is right now.
Yeah,
it's all on Booker and CP3. Everything, wins, losses, it's all on YouTube. We come and we win, we ride or die through you all. Y'all gonna get the praise, but y'all also gonna get y'all gonna get all the insults and all the poison and all that that's coming with it. You getting all that just as well, and it's not and it's just like, wow, when are they gonna start? When does DeAndre Ayton and Jay Crowder and the Mikal Bridges start taking some responsibility and actually taking real responsibility? And like, okay, when you see a Chris Paul who just ain't got it all there, he's still putting together what he can do, but can't sit there and pull out and have a 28 plus 20, 30, 40 point, 34 point night game. You know what I'm saying? When are you all going to just step up and you going to be that guy as opposed to this is my role. And if I'm going to put in my 8 and no, we need 17 now, and then and all you over here clamoring for opportunities and time. Here it is. He's playing bad. When are you going to step up, Cameron Payne?
Yeah.
You come in these little two play flashes and then you just disappear. And I this is me the first time you never heard me say, I've never criticized this man until right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but I'm starting to notice you only doing this in spots. And I keep catching you when you do it. So it seems like that's all you've been doing. But then I'm starting to look at these box scores. I'm like, hold on. Because some kind of way I'm losing him within the game when I'm watching it. It's just like but I'm starting to understand. He's not doing anything.
No, he's not. And I have an issue with him coming off the bench.
I'm not missing this in plain. He's just hidden in plain sight. Like,
Cameron Payne needs to be the 6th man, not Cam Johnson, and that's the issue here with the bench specifically.
I understand what you're saying.
Because on the bench side of things, Cameron Payne needs to be the reprieve for the 2 guards who are literally giving everything on the offensive end. Right. They need, like you were saying before we got on air, they need that 5 minutes of break just to catch their breath, get their legs back under them so they can come back out. And then Devin Booker is probably scoring 50, 60 a game if Cameron Payne can have a productive 17 minutes a night.
Right.
When you're out there, you're 4 for 7 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, and you're missing your free throws, and you're only scoring 9 points. Like, I cannot count on you to be out there on the floor.
Yeah. And it's getting to a point for me. You're in the finals. You've been going through this long enough. You're as far in the season as you're gonna be able to go within the next few days. What are you? It's now or never. It's like, if you're ever going to make that push, why do we have to sit here and you have to go through and let this series play out however it plays out? You have to go through an off season, get in your right head space, come back, go through a training camp, then work your A off just to try to sit there and say, now I'm going to prove myself. Here's your opportunity right now. This is what you've been working hard for. There's no guarantees you coming back.
This is a loaded Western Conference. It's going to be hard for you to come back.
As good as I like this team, but I can see some glaring holes here, specifically at power forward.
Yeah.
If that's what they even interested in playing, because that's the one thing I'm questioning in this offense with this coach. With Monty Williams, I had no problems with this man outside of this Jay Crowder situation. I'm like, dude, are we ever gonna address what's going on here? I understand Sarge went down, but you wasn't really playing Sarge anyway.
Yeah, Sarge had 10 minutes a game,
and I'm saying, but I mean, damn. You have come and you clip Frank Kaminsky after 1 minute, and I'm not saying he was the greatest option, but this is your option. This next man up. Why do you have him on the roster if you're not going to play him? I'm not sitting there saying you have to leave him out there, but damn. And then, I mean, it's interesting he played at Wisconsin. Now they're playing the Bucks. I don't know. Use it to your advantage. Spin it. It's like, man, he gets to go home and play against his, hometown crowd. I don't know, But, it's just like you don't have any options. Torrey Craig is not stepping his game up and becoming that small big man,
No.
And so, I mean, what does that leave? You want Cameron Johnson to be that guy now? Take away from his offense, which is taken away from your own offense, which is supposed to be supporting the starting cast in the first place. Mm-hmm. So if Booker don't necessarily bring it like he's been bringing it, and if CP3 don't quite bring it the way he needed to be bringing it like he did in games 1 and 2, we got a problem because Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton, he's the third piece, but he's not that third scorer per se. He's, what I'm saying? It's a different kind of.
And that's the thing.
He's the DeAndre Jordan of this team, just like with CP3's situation with Blake Griffin. It's like he's a third person, but he's not really a part of your big three. And I'm like, that big three, that third person has to be a person who can sustain a team all by himself. DeAndre Jordan wasn't that guy. No more than DeAndre Ayton. You're our number one piece.
But that's the other thing I have a problem with because Mikal Bridges is out here. You're supposed to be the third scoring option for this starting lineup anyway.
Huh.
Where the hell have you been? 7 points in game 4?
Are you serious? He's technically. I mean, what was his regular season? I mean, I don't know if you even had it on hand.
I don't have his regular season stats on hand, but at the end of the day, I don't care about your regular season.
I'm curious about because you said he's the third leading scorer. I was curious, like, what did he do over the season in regards to that?
I'm saying offensively, you're supposed to be the third option.
Okay.
And third option wise, 17 and 13 in the last 2 games is not going to cut it. Plus, if you go back to games 2 and 3, game 2 he did have 27 points, but in game 3 he most certainly did not. He only had 4. So the last 3 games you have been you've had 24 points over 3 games, and you've been averaging roughly 25 to 30 minutes a game.
But he's fifth. I mean, he's fifth amongst. I mean, he's last. He's the fifth. He's in fifth amongst the starters in minutes as well as shot attempts. Because I mean, but this is the Jay Crowder effect. Why is Jay Crowder shooting? And he's out here shooting 9 threes as opposed to you shot 4 shots the entire game, 1 shot a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, when then you got Booker and Paul and CP3, really filling up the stat lines with their attempts. 28 attempts for Booker, 13 for Chris Paul. There's not too many more possessions left, and somebody had to be fifth. It fell on this guy. But my question is, how in the hell is Jay Crowder shooting more than him? That would be my first thing, because I don't necessarily have a problem if DeAndre Ayton outshot him based on if you feed in the post 10, 15, 13 times. I don't have a problem with that. But, Jay Crowder, 10 attempts, and that ain't 10, field goals from like 7 feet out or 6 feet out. This stuff is all, 9 out of 10 is from 3-point line, and you only shot and hit 3 of them. Man, are you serious? That couldn't be more inefficiency if I've ever seen it. But I guess we should be happy he hit 3 threes.
Yeah.
When it was all said and done. It only took 9 attempts to get there. But okay.
I get what you're saying.
I find that to be an inefficient stat. It counterbalances, or it puts his whole stat line in as an imbalance. It's something. It's not balanced at all. I'm like that shooting far outweighs everything you did or tried to masquerade as a good game. And
go back to game 1. You were taking 15 shots a game. You were 8 for 15. Still super efficient. Still super effective, and you win by 10. As the third leading guy, when you're right behind Chris Paul with 10 for 20 and Devin Booker 12 for 25.
High efficient game. I mean, I'm not saying that Jay Crowder don't have the ability to do it.
No, I'm talking about Bridges.
Oh, Bridges.
Bridges being the third option.
But
Because
I mean, but he's only
I get what you're saying with
right.
Bridges. You don't really have an issue with him taking less shots than Aiton,
No,
and I don't either. I don't have no
right.
problem with that
Meaning
because
he should be the fourth option, but
he
I
could
do
be.
have a problem with him with him taking less shots than Crowder when
Yeah.
Crowder is only predominantly just taking 3-pointers, which he's not proven to be a good 3-point shooter. So I'm not understanding Monty Williams. Why in the hell does this dude have the green light to shoot threes?
Yeah, and I get it, but what I'm saying specifically to Mikal Bridges is that you took the initiative in your 40-minute stretch in game 1, or 38 minutes rather. You were 8 for 15. You took the initiative to take those shots. I don't know what it is about this now that you have. Maybe this is Monty Williams saying, well, I need Jay Crowder to get involved more on the offensive end for some reason. And if that's the case, I was wrong. Monty Williams definitely shouldn't have been the coach of the year if this is his real plan.
Also,
but I don't believe that because Mikal Bridges in game 1 was on fire. Like he was killing it.
And where was game 1 played?
In Phoenix. But if you go to game 5,
no,
Bridges was 5 for 8.
Don't jump to 5. Thank you. Oh, you're making my point for me. This game is in Milwaukee. Obviously, this dude is not the same player on the road as he is at home. That's all.
No, this is game 5. Game 5, he was at home.
I'm looking at game 4 stats. You keep jumping. We never officially went to game 5 at any point until now.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying, I was specifically saying about him, whether he's at home or on the road, it doesn't matter. Since the first 2 games of this series, he has steadily taken less and less shots from games 3 to games 4 to game 5. Or I guess he went back up in game 5 just a little bit. And yes, they were super close. And yes, he was super efficient. But let's just look back on how you won. How did you win games against Milwaukee when they were extremely healthy? Everybody was ready to go, and they were coming off of just being in a huge groove against Atlanta. So they were ready to go. You're ready to go now after you taking a long break. Mikal Bridges, you were a part of that formula for winning games.
We're gonna get to game 5. I'm hearing you. I hear you. Keep talking.
It's just I want, if you're going to start, especially with the shortened rotation, you're a starter. I don't care how many minutes it is. Yes, you've been very efficient. You need to take more shots. You can't keep passing up the ball to give the opportunity for Jay Crowder to take more shots. Now, and again, like I said, if this is a coaching thing where it's Monty Williams, then yes, it's not on Mikal Bridges. That's the case, but I don't believe that. I don't believe this is a coaching issue because we have, what other time throughout this season or even throughout this playoff run have we seen this happen? We haven't.
What I see is Jay Crowder is getting significantly more time than Bridges and taking significantly more shots, period, for whatever reason. Well, in game 5, it was a little different, but the time, he still got 8 more minutes in him in game 5 and then when you look at game 4, I mean, he had nearly 40 minutes again, just being Jay Crowder, and Mikal Bridges at 25 and a half minutes. Like, his minutes are short. I mean, I'm not understanding why. Now, that has to, is that not coaching? I mean, that has to do with whatever scheme he's dealing with. Bridges is not playing the same starter minutes as the rest of these guys. He's splitting time basically with Cameron Johnson. That's where his time is going. And I don't have a problem with that because Cameron Johnson is more efficient. And I'm not saying that Mikal Bridges shouldn't be that third person. What I'm saying is I have an issue as to why and how Monty Williams is allowing Jay Crowder to have more opportunities than what Mikal Bridges should have. That's all I'm saying because I'm looking at how many minutes he's getting. Because I'm like, you leaving Jay Crowder out there for 40 minutes just to jack up threes? I don't need a power forward out here shooting 3-pointers.
True.
I just don't.
Yeah, and
especially
the
you ain't
key
even
to,
shooting them
the
all
key to
that
him
well.
is you need to be down in the paint, giving, especially on the offensive end, giving Phoenix more second chance opportunities. So I agree with you.
Thank you. And that's all I'm really saying. I'm not saying that he's a bum and he's a bust. What I'm saying is I don't think he's good for this team in the way that he's being utilized. I'm kind of over. I just need him to go back down in the post and play. I'm like, you know what? I think they can get a better option and they can upgrade this position.
Let's talk
later.
game 5.
Go ahead.
So getting into game 5 then, the main thing here, and I told you this,
Mm-hmm.
think it was Sunday. Phoenix, this isn't to take away from Milwaukee by any means. They have been impressive the last 3 games. They have done their job. They've done what they were supposed to do. And in game 5 specifically, they didn't do anything wrong to lose the game. But I don't believe Milwaukee has really won anything yet, because it's every single game that Phoenix has lost, there is a key reason for Phoenix losing that game. There's something that Phoenix did that caused them to lose that game. And to me, game 3 was... Game 3, I thought Milwaukee was going to win. I'm sorry. That is the one game that I think that Milwaukee has won outright.
Mm-hmm.
Game 4, 5 turnovers by Chris Paul and the lack of production from Jay Crowder. Those are the reasons why Phoenix lost that game. Game 5, to me, specifically, is Jay Crowder in the paint. You only had... First of all, you only scored 10 points offensively.
Mm-hmm.
And second, you're only have 5 rebounds. How do you go down when you're not focusing as much on the offensive end? Defensively, how are you have less rebounds? How are you not in the paint getting scrappy down there and making sure that you have it? Either you're taking away second chance opportunities from Milwaukee, or you're giving your own team, Phoenix, on the offensive end, second chance opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. Because over half his attempts were 3-pointers.
There is no other reasoning as to why Phoenix lost this game, because I did the math. So what I've said is they needed to get to 20 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
The DeAndre Ayton and Jay Crowder combined for 15, and I don't have a problem with DeAndre Ayton going 20 and 10. I have no problem with that.
Right.
Get your double-double, we're good. But just taking the 5 rebounds that are left to be made up, and saying, Jay Crowder, you need to go get 5 more, or even if DeAndre Ayton gets a few more, it doesn't matter, as long as they get to 20. So you got to get 5 more between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're 50, and this is just from field goals, not from 3-point range. This is just from inside the arc. You're 55% from the field in game 5 already. Meaning, if you, per possession, per each time you got a rebound, you have roughly 2 to 3 more possessions in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And just taking those 2s, you have an extra 5 to 6 points based off of your percentage, off of your shot percentage, your field goal percentage. You just add the bare minimum of 5 to them, they win this game. 124 to 123.
Gotcha.
Just their bare minimum based on how they played in that game.
Right.
They win by 1. And that is all solely attributed to Jay Crowder not being a force in the paint.
No, and what in the world are you doing for 40 minutes outside of standing around the perimeter waiting if it's to see the ball coming your way? And I'm like, I don't understand. This is not me questioning Monty Williams. It's me, I'm baffled by what is this as a part of the scheme of, this is our part of our strategy of winning. Like, what deterrent element is this? That because I don't think this is fully really working to your advantage at all.
No.
This is a detriment to you. And I'm like, that it's like it's so exposed, no one's talking about it. It's like let's just let it keep happening. If they're not gonna change anything, we're not gonna let them keep. And I would have the same mentality if I'm Milwaukee. I'm letting please keep shooting. Oh, he hit 3, he hit 4 of them. Okay. How many did he shoot? He shot 4 for 12 from 3-point line? Really? That's what they allowing that kind of stuff going on over there in Phoenix. I see why we're up. I see why we're hoisting up this trophy.
Yeah.
And man, I almost had to. It hit me like a ton of bricks when I didn't even realize they're celebrating their 50th anniversary of not winning since winning their last title. I just experienced that with the Kansas City Chiefs. Literally 50 years.
Yeah, he did.
I'm like, Milwaukee fans, I think I've been a little too rough on y'all. I get it. It don't even have to look pretty. I understand. I'm not flipping my pick by no stretch of the imagination I'm just softening my stance a little bit because I had to come to realize, like, wow, I didn't even realize. I heard it just randomly on the radio. It didn't even occur to me. I never even did the math in my head. I just knew it was in the 70s. I understood when they lasted.
1971.
Whatever, it's in Milwaukee. Who cares? Like, it's one of those type of nothing against y'all. Just come on, Milwaukee. You know who you are.
You know who you are.
Come, you know who you are.
And
dear
but
country.
That's the thing. Like, I have nothing against Milwaukee if they win it. Like you
right.
Like, I'm not saying that Milwaukee doesn't deserve the title if they win it. I'm just saying they didn't do any. I feel from watching this series, outside of Game 3, you have done nothing to win these games. Phoenix has lost every game except for Game 3. And at the end of the day, if Phoenix tweaks this or that, they win those games. As opposed to, no, Milwaukee certifiably, they shut them down. There was nothing that Phoenix could have changed to win these games. No, it's distinct. Jay Crowder, get your ass in the paint. Game 4, Chris Paul, stop turning the freaking ball over.
Right.
Like, those things are tangible for mistakes Phoenix has made as opposed to things Milwaukee has exposed.
Significant meltdown moments. I get it. Something very significant is happening. And it's happening even on the Milwaukee side to some degree.
Yeah.
However, the variations have not been as great as you can see. And it's just calling it for what it is. Series is going to be close. I know I said Phoenix in 6. Obviously, it's wrong. Whatever. It is what it is. If it's Phoenix in 7, great. Because what it really comes down to, they just need to get Game 6. I'm not even worried about Game 7.
No, I'm really.
The issue is Game 6. Because if you don't win Game 6, hell, there ain't going to be a Game 7.
Yeah.
So Game 7 will take care of itself. Look, just take home court advantage back since now the series has begun.
Technically, yes.
Here we are. Whoa, we've been asleep for a long time. The series has started. So here it is. It's coming down to tomorrow night.
But I think Game 5 is devastating. If Phoenix loses this series, Game 5 is devastating because just listen to this stat. And I wrote this down, and I even left out a piece.
Okay.
You cannot. Phoenix literally just wasted a 40-point night from Devin Booker, a 20-point double-double from Chris Paul, and I forgot to write this down, a 20-point double-double from DeAndre Ayton, and they just wasted that in Game 5. That is the most sound a team you're going to find anywhere. Just think of that. A team, if you just taking away the names of everything, take Phoenix, Chris Paul, all of that away.
Right.
You go into any box score and you see the 2 guard put up 40 points, the point guard put up a 21 and 11 game, and the center puts up a 20 and 10 game. You're automatically, that team won by miles.
Yeah.
There's that baffles me that this team, because of Jay Crowder not being an enforcer down in the paint and playing his freaking role, you lost Game 5 because of that, and you wasted that great of a performance from your big 3 in Game 5 in the most pivotal game of this series. You wasted it because Jay Crowder didn't want to play in the paint.
And guess what that opened up? A nice little lane, and opened up and woke up now a tiny sleeping giant called Drew Holiday, who just had his way to the paint. Whether he beat his man off the defender, if he beat his defender, there was nobody else to beat because he just had a free lane. It was
DeAndre Ayton was
right. Ayton's pulled out. He's being drawn out, and and that's the point. Where is the rim protector? Oh, he's out there trying to shoot threes. Oh, he's on the perimeter because he needs to get back to spot up to receive the ball to shoot another 3. Monty Williams, please. What in the world? I just need explanation to this. That's all. I just want to know what the philosophy is. I still believe in him because everything else he's doing is great. Therefore, I'm just not understanding this one element as to what the hell was this whole recruitment, Chris Paul? Why did you recruit this guy to do this? I don't understand. What did you see that was going to make this fit? Because I don't see him fitting. It's kind of like, look, he's just out there. He's doing what he got to do. He's like, look, I'm out here auditioning. I'm showing what I got because I know I'm probably moving on. and he's just trying to get his.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everything he's doing does not seem to fit in the flow of what they're doing offensively, and I'm having a real problem with him.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I mean, and let's get into a point where we can wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just look ahead. I agree with you. No. Monty Williams, I would love an explanation. You need to get on the mic and tell me what the hell this is, because if there is a reasoning behind why Jay Crowder's on the 3-point line and there's something tangible there, cool. I respect it.
What was he pulling out?
But
I'm seeing guards running at him because they're not even taking the bait. Like, why would I pull my big to come out?
Why would Giannis come out to try to guard you?
Why are we even trying to stop you from shooting threes?
Yeah,
it's kind of like we just want to distract you. We don't necessarily want to.
You know
stop
what it is?
You.
It's the Milwaukee is taking the philosophy Phoenix did for Giannis in games 1 and 2. Giannis wanted to keep shooting threes. Go ahead. We're gonna stay down here and block everything off in the paint. You are not coming down here and playing in this area.
If you can hit them.
Go ahead. It's like, we're gonna live and die by it.
Yeah, it's gonna be you just had that night. Well, it was nothing we could have did. He had that night.
Yeah,
you can't stop that. But that's what it's gonna take for me, and I can live with that. And yeah,
because at that point, that is something where Milwaukee certifiably won that game. There was nothing that you could have done to change the outcome.
Right.
As opposed to, look, Crowder, you can just whenever you're on the floor, come down, post up in the paint. That's it. And you can do that all night long. You've been doing it all season long.
Draw a couple of fouls. I don't know, put a little pressure on none of these other players.
Maybe like a Middleton. And I will say that might be the one thing that Monty Williams is trying to avoid is Crowder, because he, again and again, throughout this playoff run, when he is in the paint, he is racking up 5, sometimes 6 fouls and fouling out at the end of the games.
No. I ain't talking about stopping him. Maybe him going down in the paint will cause,
I get what you're saying, but it's also causing him to foul.
Offensively?
Yeah. And if that's the case, I sort of get what you're saying there, but it's not translating into wins.
No,
we can win in crunch time when he's beating up on these guys and tiring them out. Sorry, I'm supposed to be unbiased here.
Us.
Well, so looking ahead, let's what do you think Phoenix needs to do, and how do you see Phoenix adjusting in Game 5 to try to bring this back to Phoenix for Game 7?
In Game 6 for Game 7?
Oh, sorry, Game 6.
They don't have to change much. Again, I think if they, as you were saying, I think that they can get a person like a Mikal Bridges more involved. Where is that going to come from? From Jay Crowder's offense, because a little less of Jay Crowder antics right now, and then let's beef up Mikal Bridges, and we need to get something like a nice little swing man, slasher in there that brings another fresh element, and so defenses can't home in on like a Devin Booker, because I can be like, Devin Booker's gonna have a good game. What type is it gonna be? A 27-point good game, or is it gonna be a 42-point good game? That's very different. We just don't know, and I can't expect 42. They probably need it, but can't sit there and bank him to score 42 points. He may give us
honestly
like a 27, 7, and 6, and that's great.
If Mikal Bridges is being efficient on the offensive end, all you really need is him to get close to 30.
Thank you, because Bridges put up 15. If you get like 15 and 7, excellent. And I mean that's. But the point, he ain't getting shot attempts. If you shooting 3 for 4, he's sufficient. But when you play 25 minutes a game,
I need volume.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, well, obviously your time is coming from Cam Johnson. I don't have a problem with Cam Johnson coming in the game. I have a problem with why it's not coming in out of Jay Crowder's
I just think that they need to go back.
Because I think his minute. Yeah. If Jay Crowder played 25 minutes and did what he did, impressive. 40 minutes. No, if you took like Game 3 stat line, not Game 5, he played like crap.
No. I'm saying I
like
still don't
like that. How that stat line was all inflated. If he did that in 25 minutes of play, that's a lot different than in 40 minutes.
It is, but I don't think that translates into Phoenix getting a win. I think what translates to Phoenix getting a win is Jay Crowder. Take your 35 minutes.
That's 15 less minutes that went. That's 15 minutes that went somewhere else to efficiency that's going somewhere else, like a Cam.
No,
Johnson
I get you. Stop trying to be an offensive threat. We need you specifically. I don't need your scoring. We're fine with you scoring 10 points when you have 10 freaking rebounds. Whether that comes on the offense or the defensive end, wherever you want to exert that energy to get your 10 rebounds, go ahead and do it. But if you're going to play 35 minutes, you need to go get 10 rebounds. I need that out of you every single night. These next 2 games, 35 minutes, 10 rebounds. I do not care how much you score. Because at the end of the day, I can count on Devin Booker to score 35 points. And if you're not taking those shots, that means Mikal Bridges is taking your shots, and he's been efficient.
Booker,
and I agree with you.
Booker and Aiden are only 2 just playing more minutes than him per game. So he's playing more minutes than even Chris Paul.
Yeah.
I'm having this goes beyond. I'm just saying the cutoff is supposed to be where Bridges should be superseding him in the pecking order of the starting 5, not necessarily the other 3.
Take 5 minutes from him.
I'm like, but yeah, it's like, why is his numbers, minutes played, so inflated? And then when you translate over to the rest of his stats, I'm sorry, your minutes played versus he's not efficient. I'm like, he can put up stats, but that's
what I'm saying. It's not about his offensive efficiency when he's on the floor. When he is on the floor,
it's not, but it's taken away from the total team's offensive efficiency because it's a deficit. Because even for him to succeed, they have to die somewhere else.
Yes, but they don't need more offensive efficiency, and what I'm saying is at the end of the day,
if he has to shoot for whatever reason
I'm saying is don't let that Monty Williams. This is what I think you need to do.
I understand that he don't go out there, damn shoot no ball.
Don't let Jay Crowder is not on your roster to be an offensive threat. He's not a shooter. You don't need that.
Man, we need a rod.
You can play him for 35 minutes. You can play him for 37. You can play him for 40 minutes. I don't care. Make his number one priority 10 rebounds tonight. That is it. I don't care about anything else. 10 rebounds
out of a power forward. My goodness.
10 rebounds, and if he wants to, once he gets his 10 rebounds, go ahead. Let him shoot. Let him get to 10 points, and you're gonna win the game.
And this is the part where maybe this is because how the guy's positioned on the floor. This is where, like, man, Mikal Bridges, this is your time to shine. You could clean up on the boards. You don't have to, especially if you ain't shooting that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not saying that he's not, having to spend time sticking, Middleton, and that I'm sure that's exerting a lot of his energy. But I'm like, man, bro, you could be that guy averaging 10, 11 rebounds a game, even though you may have 7 and 11 and 5 or something like that. You could be efficient in a whole different kind of way, but it all depends on game flow and scheme. And I'm just sorry. The Crowder thing just threw me completely off. Now, I do have a question of the day. Just want to make sure you do that before you go into your, conclusion.
Go ahead.
Well, being that we are surprisingly down now, I said we, me and myself included, us Suns fans. I'm a Suns supporter.
Yeah.
Been rolling with him since the first. Hey, y'all better stop it. I did not jump on just recently. Since now that they found themselves down in a series for the second time since the first round against the Lakers, and for the first time in an elimination game.
Yep.
Which it took me a minute to make those two connections on my own, by the way, because I called no sports in there. Yeah. I called nothing today. So with that being said, I'm kind of, I don't know what the pulse is out there today. But just keeping that context in mind, and being that we could potentially be watching maybe the final game tomorrow, if not tomorrow, then at the end of this week, we'll be coming down to the last game or again 2 games. My question of the day is this: which NBA franchise will have the greater accomplishment if they win the NBA Finals? The Suns or the Bucks, and why?
Go ahead, answer that down below. I'll be in the comments. You guys saw me last week in the comments, so decal. I think I roasted you. No.
He didn't know who he was talking to.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't me. So.
My picture's in the thing, so yeah. No, at the end of the day, that's a great question. We can have a discussion about it down below. But thank you guys again for listening, and we'll hopefully catch you next week with the Suns win.
Yes, they only have to win 2 games. Not.
They only have to win one because I think if they win Game 6,
I was gonna make a
Milwaukee's
point.
going to be demoralized.
Them winning the next 2 games is not necessarily swinging for the fences. That's all I'm saying.
No.
But with that being said, hopefully.
Well, thank you guys again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Have a good night.